Power calculation in amplitude modulation. In amplitude modulation, we know that carrier signal is transmitted with message. Message is transmitted by changing the carrier amplitude in amplitude modulation. The amplitude of carrier changes according to amplitude of modulating signal, according to instantaneous value of modulating signal. So when we actually transmit the message signal, how much power is required to transmit? That is, what is total transmitted power? What is carrier power? And how much power lies in the sidebands? And when we change the modulation index, what is the impact of the percentage modulation, the depth of modulation over power calculation or power values of total power, carrier power, and sideband power. So this is the agenda of today's lecture. So let's start the pointer. Yeah. So as we know that we can see here a diagram, the amplitude modulation. And it is clearly seen here that the amplitude of carrier signal is changing. This envelope is actually AM wave. The envelope looks like the message signal because the modulated signal follows the instantaneous value of modulating signal. All right. So if we can see clearly, I mean very carefully this diagram, the carrier frequency inside there is a carrier and that carrier frequency is changing, right? It is changing and that change, I'm sorry, carrier frequency is not changing. Carrier frequency is not changing, amplitude is changing. You see here, amplitude is changing, frequency remains same. Frequency remains same. All right, carrier frequency remains same. The amplitude changes in accordance with the amplitude of modulating signal. And there is the maximum change in amplitude of carrier signal. There is minimum change. So the carrier amplitude swings from minimum to maximum. Now see here, there is an important relation that is for power calculation. You see here that, yes, if we can write the expression for AM signal as VAMT AC into 1 plus M cosine omega MT into cosine omega CT. Look at here. How did we get this? How do we get this expression? Just by adding carrier with the frequency translated signal. How do we get it? That we get AC cosine omega MT into cosine omega CT, and then that term is added with carrier because carrier is also transmitted along with two sideband. So this is actually the carrier you see here. This is the carrier. And what is new carrier amplitude? This is the new carrier amplitude. AC into 1 plus cosine omega MT. 1 plus M cosine omega MT. You see here the carrier amplitude is changing by this factor. Where what is M? AM divided by AC. AM divided by AC. So this carrier amplitude is changing by instantaneous value. If you substitute here M AC by AM, and if you multiply, it becomes AC plus AM into cos omega MT whole multiplied by cosine omega C. So carrier amplitude is changing in accordance with instantaneous value. What is instantaneous value? AM cosine omega MT is the instantaneous value. So if we can expand this, we'll get AC cosine omega CT plus MAC by 2 cosine omega C plus omega MT plus MAC by 2 cosine omega C minus omega MT. Where, how do we get carrier signal? We see here AC cosine omega CT. How do we get carrier power here? Power can be calculated of this type of value, this type of signal as the RMS power. Since the signal is AC signal, RMS power, and that too in communication system, we calculate normalized power. So what is that power? AC, this is not A, AC, square root of 2 divided by 2, the whole square, it becomes AC square by 2C, AC square by 2. Now, what is upper side bend power and lower side bend power? Since this magnitude is same, MAC by 2, so therefore, the power will be same in upper side bend as well as lower side bend. How much that power will be? MAC by 2 is square root 2, which is RMS square, and it becomes M square by 8 into AC square. We know that AC square by 2 is PC, so we can write M square by 4 into PC. So what is the power of either upper side bend or lower side bend? It is equal to M square by 4 into PC. Now you can understand here, when modulation percentage is 1, what will happen? 100% modulation. So 1 by 4 of carrier power means 25% of carrier power, 25% of carrier power lies in upper side band as well as lower side band. We can calculate the power for the total power also. How do we calculate total power? We can calculate total power as PC plus total side band power. What is total side band power here? One side band power is M square by 4 into PC. So the total side band power is M square by 2 into PC, twice of that. So it is PC into 1 plus M square by 2 is the total power. Actually, this is the power which is transmitted. This is the power which is radiated, and therefore this power is called as total power. The total antenna power, the total transmitted power, which is equal to carrier power multiplied by 1 plus M square by 2. If M, you see here, if M is 1, so it becomes 1.5 PC. It means the total power is 1.5 times of carrier power. Obviously, the carrier power will, the total power will be always greater than the carrier power, because the total power includes carrier power as well as sideband power. So let us do one small numerical problem. There is a 400 watt carrier which is modulated to a depth of 75%. All right. There is a 400 watt carrier which is modulated by a sinusoidal signal or by a message signal to how much? To a depth of 75%. 75% means the modulation index will be 0.75. So when we substitute here in this formula, PT equal to PC into 1 plus M square by 2, we will get 512.5 watt. 400 watt is the carrier power. Now 112.5 watt, please understand, 112.5 watt extra power is required. And that extra power is there in the side band. And do you know each side band how much power it is consuming, how much power it is requiring? If you divide 112.5 by 2, it is 56.25. So 56.25, please remember, please understand it. 56.25 watt power is there in each side band, where actually our message is there. Where is our message? Message is there in only side bands, not in carrier. So carrier, how much power carrier is requiring? 400 watt. And how much power the sideband, each sideband will require? 56.25 watt for, of course, 75% of modulation. When we calculate modulation for 100%, it will be, that is 1.5. So it will be that 600 watt. When we increase the percentage modulation, you see here, if M becomes 1, it will become 600. 600 means 200 watt is in sideband, 200 watt is in sideband, and 400 watt is in carrier. Whereas for 75% of modulation, 56.25 watt is there in each sideband. So what is the conclusion here? Carrier requires a lot of power. as compared to sideband. That is one finding we can get from this numerical problem. Second, when we increase the modulation percentage, because then we are doing more modulation. When we are doing more modulation, what will happen? More power is required in sideband. So more is the modulation index, more is the sideband power, less is the modulation index, modulation depth, lesser is the percentage in lesser is the percentage power in sideband. So there is one more numerical problem. Why we are doing this problem? It is because of we want to discuss through this small numerical problem the concept of power calculation. A broadcast radio transmitter, there is a radio transmitter broadcast, maybe AM or FM. So a broadcast radio transmitter is radiating how much? 10 kilowatt of power. When modulation percentage is 60, how much of this is the carrier power? So whatever power is radiated is always the total power. We know that whatever power is radiated is the total power, all right, is the total power. So whatever power is radiated is the total power. So how much total power is given here? 10 kilowatt. 10 kilowatt of total power is given here. Okay. And the percentage modulation is 0.6. How can we calculate carrier power? Just by the same formula, using same formula, PT equal to PC into 1 plus m square by 2. So we can calculate carrier power as 8.47 kilowatt. So for 60% modulation index, the carrier power is almost 8.5 kilowatt. So 1.5 kilowatt power is only needed, only there in the sideband. In total 10 kilowatt of power, 1.5 kilowatt power is occupied by sidebands, that to both the sidebands. Whereas the maximum factor, maximum portion, that is 8.47, which is almost 8.5 kilowatt, is needed in the carrier. So sending a carrier is expensive. Sending a carrier is very, very expensive. Okay. So when we are talking, because we know in amplitude modulation, there are different types like DSB, SC, SSB. So DSB, SC, what do? We send two sideband and we suppress the carrier. How much the power required will be? What will be the total power required? Power requirement will be only m square by 2 into PC. Why? Because we are only transmitting two sidebands. And when we are sending two sidebands, it means the total power required will be in sideband, not required by the carrier. So how much power saving we are doing? How much power saving? If we are not sending carrier, the power saving is PC divided by what is total power? 1 by m square by 2 into PC. So when we simplify and calculate in 100%, that is in percentage, we will get 2 by 2 plus m square. Now what can we discuss about? What can we conclude about this result? For example, m is equal to 1. What is power saving? 66.6%. If we take m equal to 1 by 2, 88.8%. M equal to 1 by 4, 96.9%. So what is the meaning? When we are increasing the percentage modulation, the power saving is reduced. Why? Because when we are increasing percentage modulation, the power required is increasing. The power required is increasing, and therefore the power saving is getting reduced. The power saving is becoming less. Now, when we do the same calculation for SSB, so let us see how this, in case of SSB, this power saving is discussed, and how much power saving we get, and what is the effect of power saving when the percentage modulation is changing. So let us see that. We can see the power saving here, 1 plus m square by 4 into PC, because we are talking about SSB-SC. We are not sending carrier and we are also not sending one of the sideband. So in that case, it will become 4 plus m square divided by 4 into this the total value will be 4 plus m square divided by 2 into 2 plus m square. So for m equal to 1, how much power saving will be there? 83.33%. For 50% modulation, how much power saving will be there? The power saving will be your 94.4%. 94.4%. So here also we can see that when we are increasing percentage modulation, power saving is reduced. Your power saving is reduced. So when power saving is reduced, because of more power is required when we increase the percentage modulation. But one thing we can compare, that when we compare with the DSB-SC, for 100% modulation, power saving is 66.6%, and here for 100% modulation, 83.33%. So this is very important conclusion, that in SSB-SC, from numerical problem also, we can see that lot of power saving is there when we apply SSB in comparison with DSB signal. All right. So this is the calculation of transmitted current and carrier current. We can discuss the transmitted signal or carrier signal in terms of current, in terms of voltage, or in terms of power. What is the relation between power and power that is transmitted power and the carrier power? This is the relation, that is PT equal to PC 1 plus m square by 2. All right, PT equal to PC into 1 plus m square by 2. If we determine the total current, that is transmitted current, in terms of carrier current, we will get IT equal to IC 1 plus m square by 2 to the power half. How do we get it? Very simply. We know that power is proportional to your IT square into resistance. Similarly, IC, PC will be proportional to your IC square into some resistance. But in communication, we we consider the normalized power. So let us normalize the resistance in both the side. So we can write IT square into IC square multiplied by 1 plus m square by 2, which we can further write as IT equal to IC 1 plus m square by 2 to the power half. So the relation is same, but here the power half is here in case of the current relationship. IT equal to IC into 1 plus m square by 2 whole to the power half. So we can calculate the transmitted current when the carrier current is given, means the current is expressed in terms of current. The carrier is expressed in terms of either current signal or voltage signal. We can determine the transmitted current and the voltage current, transmitted current and transmitted voltage of the signal which is actually transmitted. So when we get the relation for transmitted current in terms of carrier current, in the similar manner, we can get the expression for transmitted voltage in terms of transmitted carrier voltage as VT equal to VC 1 plus m square by 2 to the power half. Same relationship, because we know that power is proportional to a square of either current or voltage. So the relationship will be almost same. So this is the further relationship or discussion on the power calculation. Power calculation can help us in getting expression or relation between either transmitted current and carrier current, or transmitted voltage and carrier voltage. Now there is one more specific case. Suppose in a modulation scheme, carrier is same. Carrier is same, but the carrier is modulated not by a single message, not by a single modulating signal, but it is modulated by a number of signals. Okay, number of signals. So what will happen? When it is modulated by number of signals, this is called a simultaneous modulation. We can take one example. maybe there is one musical program called as orchestra, where some person is singing a song, and there are a number of musical instruments which are which are being played in that program, and we want a fine quality, and we want to modulate all those signals. Can we do it? Yes, we can do. All those signals can be treated as different signals, and those different signals can be modulated by a single carrier frequency. So if for all those different modulating signals, the modulation depth or modulation indices are M1, M2, M3, M4, and so on, what will be total percentage modulation? The total percentage modulation will be, it will be M is equal to square root of M1 square plus M2 square plus M3 square, and so on. We will get like this. And therefore, what will be the calculation for transmitted power for simultaneous modulation? For simultaneous modulation, it will be calculated as Pt equal to Pc into 1 plus m square by 2 plus 1 m2 square by 2 plus m3 square by 2, and so on. Here we have not done anything except in place of m square, we have substituted m1 square plus m2 square plus m3 square, because we know the power calculation as Pt equal to Pc 1 plus m square by 2. Now when there are number of modulating signals which are modulated simultaneously by the same carrier, so in that case the simultaneous modulation results percentage modulation as m, so m square equal to m1 square plus m2 square plus m3 square, and therefore we can replace it. So this is how we can calculate the transmitted power when carrier power is given and the same carrier signal is being modulated by a number of modulating or message signals. So we can find how much total power is there, how much radiated power is required, that is in terms of carrier power. If we want to know how do we get this m equal to square root of m1 square plus m2 square plus m3 square, it's very simple. When we go to the basic expression, how do we get m? M is equal to am square plus m is equal to am by ac. That's the basic relationship, right? We get like this. Now how do we calculate the power? How do we calculate power term? The power term we calculate like this, right? Now you see that suppose there are more number of signals, what will happen? M1 cosine omega M1t plus M2 cosine omega M2t plus M3 cosine omega M3t, and they will all produce M1, then M1, then M2, then M2. So correspondingly, when we are calculating for your, the total power contributed by message signal whose modulation index is M1. M1 means what? AM1 divided by AC, because first modulating signal has the amplitude AM1. Second modulating signal has amplitude of AM2. So accordingly, the power will be M1 square by 2 or M2 square by 2, M3 square by 2. All powers will be contributed by different modulating signals. Like first modulating signal will contribute M1 square by 2. See here, M1 square by 2 into PC, total sideband power. Next modulating signal will contribute M2 square by 2. Third modulating signal will contribute M3 square by 2. So what will be total sideband power contributed by all modulating signal? M1 square by 2 plus M2 square by 2 plus M3 square by 2 into PC. So when we add with PC, because carrier also has to be sent, carrier is common, carrier is not required to send again and again with each modulating signal. This is the case of simultaneous modulation. So in that case, we can write, what we can write, see here, we can write the expression as Pt equal to Pc 1 plus M1 square by 2 plus M2 square by 2 plus M3 square by 2. And we can compare this expression with the previous expression. Then also we can derive this. M is equal to square root of M1 square plus M2 square plus M3 square. So this is the case when there is simultaneous modulation case. When there is simultaneous modulation case. Okay. There is one problem based on the current calculation. The antenna current of AM transmitter is 8 ampere only when the carrier is sent. It means when there is only carrier means it's not modulated. So this is obviously carrier current. It is given in different way. The antenna current of AM transmitter is 8 ampere when only the carrier is sent. It means carrier current is given, but it increases to 8.93 ampere when carrier is modulated. It means when carrier is modulated, it becomes transmitted current. So what is transmitted current? 8.93 ampere. So what is the percentage modulation, due to the modulating signal which modulated this current, and we got the current 8.93 ampere. So we can use this formula, IT equal to IC 1 plus M square by 2 to the power 1 by 2, and we can calculate the percentage modulation. So what is percentage modulation here? 70%. 70% is the modulation of that signal, percentage modulation, where the signal has modulated the carrier current whose value is 8 ampere. So let us summarize this lecture, what we have discussed in this lecture, right? This lecture is all about the power calculation, right? Let's begin with the discussion from the beginning and briefly summarize it. We have discussed the expression or waveform of modulated signal, right? This is the amplitude modulated signal. Then we have calculated the power, different powers, that is carrier power and sideband power, carrier power and sideband power. When we compare the sideband power, in both the sideband is same, and when we add both of them, it becomes M square by 2 times PC. So what is total power? Total power is equal to PC times 1 plus M square by 2, and where we can find that carrier power is much larger than what is the power in the sideband. But when percentage modulation increases, the sideband power also increases, because you see here the sideband power is proportional to M square. More is the modulation index, more is the carrier power. So this numerical problem we discussed. There is one more problem we discussed. We have discussed that when we increase the percentage modulation, the sideband power increases, and when sideband power increases, the total power also increases. Then we have discussed about the two cases, that is DSBSC and SSBSC. DSBSC, we have calculated the power saving. The power saving is 66.6% for 100%, and when we decrease the percentage modulation, the power saving is decreased. And what we can see that when carrier is not sent, a lot of power saving is there. For 100% power, 100% modulation, 66.6% power saving is there. Why this 66.6% power saving is taking place? Because this much power would have been, required in sending the carrier. But since we are suppressing the carrier, 66.6% power saving is there. So it means that the power required in sending the carrier in DSBSC is 66.6%. In DSB, 66.6% for 100% modulation. Carrier will require 88% power when 50% modulation, 96.9% power when the percentage modulation is 0.25. Okay. In the similar manner, this discussion is on SSBSC. In SSBSC also, we can calculate the power saving. Here also, we can observe that when percentage modulation increases, the power saving also decreases. More is the percentage modulation, lesser is the power saving, because in that case, the power is a lot of power is required in carrier, and we are suppressing the carrier, and we are suppressing one sideband also here. We are not only suppressing carrier, but we are suppressing one of the sideband also. So in one way, we can say that 83.33% is the power saving. So what is power required? Power required is around 16.66%, and that too in how many sideband? One sideband requires 16.66%. So total if we send two sideband power, it becomes 33.33%, and therefore you see here, when in DSBSC, when M equal to 1, power saving is 66.66, so power required is 33.33%. So fundamentally, these things will be, fundamentally same. When we are sending a carrier, the power required will be same. Either we are using SSBSC or DSBSC for same percentage modulation. For same percentage modulation, whether it is SSBSC or DSBSC, power required in one of the sideband will be same for same value of the percentage modulation. Then we discussed about the transmitted current and carrier current. The transmitted current can be written as IT equal to YC in terms of carrier current, and we can get it very easily by this expression. We know that power is the proportional to current or voltage square, and when we substitute the voltage and current variable, here in place of power, we will get IT equal to IC 1 plus m square by 2 to the power half, or VT equal to VC 1 plus m square by 2 to the power half. And accordingly, we can calculate the either transmitted current when carrier current is given, or vice versa for a particular percentage modulation. And then we discussed about simultaneous modulation. In simultaneous modulation, what happens when there are many modulating signals, when there is more than one modulating signal, message signal, and those message signals are modulating a single carrier, means a carrier is modulated by all those modulating signals whose modulation indices are M1, M2, M3, and so on. So total modulation index is equal to the square root of M1 square plus M2 square plus M3 square and so on. And the total power is equal to PC into 1 plus M1 square by 2 plus M2 square by 2 and so on. Here it is not M, here it is M3. So this lecture is all about the power calculation in amplitude modulation. When we send ordinary AM signal, when we send DSB-SC signal, when we send SSB, how much power is required, how much power is required in sideband, how much power is required in carrier. So what we can conclude is carrier requires more amount of power in comparison with sideband power. So when we suppress either carrier or sideband, when we suppress carrier, lot of power saving we'll get. But when we also suppress sideband, we will get power saving, but not that much what we get when we suppress, when we do not send the carrier signal. Second more big conclusion we have got here, that more is the percentage modulation, lesser is the power saving, because we know that more is the percentage modulation, more power is required in the sideband, and therefore the power saving is reduced. Power required is more and power saving is less. So that's all for this lecture. Thank you.